Good morning and happy last Tuesday of the month. Yes, there's still a week left for June, but June ends on next Monday. So as of next Monday, we will be halfway through 2025. And what a year it has been on so many aspects. But with that, let's just focus on what we have going on today. And it's going to be fun because I'm just kind of doing a solo shot today. I'm going to be talking about a number of things, including the importance of really making that decision. Are you going to be who you were created to be, or are you going to keep trying to fit in to see if you can fit in places that maybe you think you want to go, but you have to hide aspects of who you are to be able to even walk in those doors. So we'll talk about that a little bit more. But first, I want to start off with check in on those around you. Check in on those who you know that they've gone through some difficulties, they've gone through some issues, some family trauma. It could be medical, it could be family, it could be work related. So many different things we go through. And when you find out somebody is going through a difficult time, how do you then keep track of it? Because we're there at the beginning. We know something's going on. We're ready to be there, to support, to lift them up. But once the smile starts coming back, once it seems like they're normal, in terms of this is how they were before whatever happened, we tend to kind of look to the next thing. And maybe that's just a part of what social media has done to us as well. It's like you have this short attention span on so many things. And in this case, somebody goes through something, you still need to check in on them. It could have been a week ago, 6 months ago, a year ago, 2 years ago. There are some things that it takes time to get over. And this world basically forces us to put a mask on and make things look like we're okay as soon as possible. Don't bend to that. And when you check in on people, if they tell you that they're doing fine, dig a little deeper. Fine, according to Agape, and I love this terminology, fine is feeling inward, not expressed. So think about it as when you go to the checkout counter and the cashier's like, how's your day? And you say fine, and then you go on to the next thing. It's kind of a meaningless term unless you dig deeper to find out what's really going on or if they truly are fine. So check in on 2 or 3 people as often as you can, daily. Just whenever you think about it, reach out, text, message, email, call, whatever it is. Then when I look at my sponsors, I always begin with my dear sis, Dr. Constance LEYLAND with Level Up Academy. CJ she's just amazing. I absolutely adore her. She wants to be the Netflix of education, and she is getting there. Her mission to level people up through education, through helping them to move from one level to the next, and her ability to see things. Because if you're not ready, if she sees that you have something that you need to do to get to the next level, then she can guide you on that. Reach out to her. She has access to different press releases. She's got her own press release that she can do and get it all over the place. I mean, look at these industries she has access to. Press releases. She's got a newsletter. She's doing so much, and I love that I get to do a lot of this with her. Her magazines. She's been doing a magazine quarterly since last January. So her first magazine came out last March. it's kind of been just in line with our anthologies. So she has done a lot of stories. I look at the anthologies. Last year we did 72 stories in our anthologies. And then her 4 magazines, that puts her at well over 100 stories that she published last year. She has her podcast. She has a TV show. And there's more coming on TV. So stay tuned on that. The live stream. She has access to radio. She has access to all these industries for press releases. She understands what it means for SEO to get that search optimization out there and help make you seen. If you think you're ready, reach out to her, talk to her, tell her what you're doing, what you're thinking, how you're ready, and she will come back and basically tell you if it's ready. It's like, yeah, let's do this, and away you go. If she sees that you're really not as ready as you think you are, she will guide you in the direction you need to go to be ready. Because the last thing you want to do is put all that hype in, you get it out there, and you fall flat on your face because you really weren't ready. CJ makes sure you're ready. That's what I love about her. And I like making sure the same thing. It's like, if you're not ready, then have somebody help you get ready so that you can take that step in the maximum. Then we have the Hounds of Business. And when I think of the Hounds, and I think of Mike Ashebrainer, it's collaboration over competition. Here's a community that looks at working together. How can you work together? Just because you see people in there that may be doing the same thing as you, that doesn't automatically make them the competition. You don't have to be trying to find ways to one up. Think about it. When you are trying to one up, you're doing things alone. How much are you dealing with anxiety? How much are you dealing with inner turmoil, concerns, worries? You're wondering if you're doing the right thing, if you've got the right thing. What if you found a way to collaborate and you find somebody that, yeah, they're doing something similar to you, but you get to talking and you actually strike up a connection. And as you're doing this, you start thinking about ways that the two of you can work together. You can create opportunities together. Now you're opening up each other to bigger markets. You're opening up each other to a larger audience, sharing, you're learning from each other to basically level up each other. And you can do so much and reduce that anxiety because you are working together. So check out the Hounds, because here's a community of a lot of people in a lot of different industries. And when you get in and reach out, meet people. And if you're an introvert like I am, you just find those ways to, you start finding the ways to reach out and start talking with people. If you have to have an excuse, then find that excuse to reach out to somebody. It's like, hey, I saw you on my posts. I'd love to know more. Or I see you're doing this. You're talking about this. I'd love to know more. How, and start getting to know them. So check out the Hounds of Business community. Check out Mike Ashebrainer and reach out to him with any questions and let him know that you heard about him here, because Mike is really a great guy, and he cares about helping people to move to move beyond where they are, to move to the next level. And then I have C&M Consulting. This is my dear sister Danielle. CMC is a leading management and advisory consulting firm that specializes in human resources. And we know human resources, HR, is a key part of most organizations. They center around empathy-driven and heart-led solutions, ensuring compliance with regulatory requirements while fostering a culture of trust and workplace excellence. And all of that is my dear sis. That is what she does. She is so empathy-focused and takes it into her work, takes it into how she works with others. So check her out. I always like to throw up Bella Grace because there's Bella Grace items that I love using. Sis talks about this elixir all the time, so I am looking forward to the time when I get to start trying it, because I hear what it's done for her. She walks through the ingredients. She cares about what goes in her body. She checks it out. And this is one of those things I see at the top of her list. So if you have questions about it, reach out to her. I know she talked about she had some joint pains, and shortly after she started with the elixir, the pains went away. Ask questions, check her out, scan the QR code to get more information, and see what it's all about in terms of how it is for you. And I want to close this entry part with this. My dear niece, my dear sis Danielle's daughter, she ended up in the hospital for about a week because of Kawasaki disease, and it's rare, and it has the potential to impact her for a long time or a lifetime. So we're trying to raise money because, I mean, anytime you end up dealing with hospital bills, medical bills, things that you need to get, insurance does not always cover everything. And sometimes those needs, you got to pay out of pocket. But if you don't have anything to pay out of pocket with, how are you going to be able to get what your daughter needs, what your child needs? And it's important to make sure that our kids, they keep those smiles, they keep lively. We don't want things like this to traumatize them and knock them backwards. This is an energetic little girl, and I just want to see her stay that way. So CJ and I was like, we need your help to lift little Elise. Anything you can do. I mean, if you can give to the GoFund, awesome. Whatever amount, awesome. If prayers, passing this message along, whatever you can do, it all counts. It all helps. So scan this QR code for some more information on that. And we just want to see our niece get back to her lively self. These pictures were less than a week apart. She graduated, going into kindergarten, and the next thing you know, she's in a hospital bed. No kid should have to do that. So with that, I want to see who's here. And oh yes, I love it when Lisa's here, because I love to give her a mini commercial. Ladies, when it comes to menopause, perimenopause, and any questions that we've got, Lisa is the person to go to. She knows so much. She's been in our anthologies. I've gotten a chance to work with her. And when she talks about menopause and diet and how to make it as best as possible, this is a person to reach out to, talk with her, ask her questions. And guys, you're not out of the woods either. You get andropause. So if you've wondered about those midlife crises or whatever, touch base with the dear sis. Talk to Lisa, because she knows andropause as well, and she's often talking about it. And I think on Tuesdays at noon Pacific, she tends to have an event. She's got her own online event, so check her out. Check out her events and see how it's going. It's awesome to see you, Homer. Homer's here from the Philippines. Dear sis Danielle, it's lovely to meet you here, Christy. And then I have my who's been out of town for the weekend. I got to sit in on her show Sunday, which was its own interesting time. But now I want to go into today's going to be a bit of a potpourri, a number of different things, because there's just so much going on, and some of it is to give you an ideas to the things that I'm doing, both what I do and the things that are coming up, things that I've got in the planning, and actually I'm getting ready to put it out there, and find the ways to help others move beyond boxes, to level up, as my dear sis says. It's one of the things I love about working with CJ too, is everything we do, it really fits together. You want to level people up so they can move beyond boxes. You want to help people move beyond boxes so they can level up. It's been a dream working with her. But as I'm looking at some of the stuff that's going on, and I was going to try and go to Sis's website, because we do anthologies, and we're getting ready. We'll be announcing the next one. It's already out there, and it's on her website. The next one. These are anthologies, are a chance to get your story out there in a short form. It's one chapter, and these chapters, depending on what is going on, where you're at, it's a chance to write something within the theme that is anywhere from 1,500. With us, it's anywhere from 1,500 to usually 3,000 words. We have gone up to 5,000 words, but these stories are a powerful way for you to not only become a published author. We see the business aspect of this. So when you are writing that story on the topic, you can be talking about what your business is, what you're doing, how you got where you are, and you keep the copyright of the story. We just get the first print, and then that story is yours to use. You can use it for your business. It can become a PDF that you pass out to prospective clients for your chapter. So many ways to use it. So we want you to be thinking about how to really get your story out there for the general public to see it, to learn who you are, know who you are, and help you build that know, like, and trust. It's one of the things I love about these anthologies with my sis. Um, and I absolutely adore helping her out. Yeah, we've got so many amazing people here, and I love seeing everybody here. So anthologies, we've already done 6 since last year. The next one will be coming out very soon, and the writing starts on the next one in about 5 weeks. So time flies fast. Look at what you're at, look at how you're doing, what you're doing, and let's find those ways to help you get your story out there. That said, as I'm building opportunities, one of the opportunities that I'm looking at is basically coaching to help authors to take their story and basically go from story to their voice, to transform their truth, because you have an amazing story to tell, but sometimes you don't know how to do it. What's the way to do it? What's the approach? So being able to take that story and turn it into a powerful storytelling opportunity, whether it's on stage, whether it's in books, whether it's in podcasts, how you speak your story. This is something that I am helping others, especially focused on women leaders, entrepreneurs, vets. Because sometimes going through your story, bringing a voice to your story, it not only is getting out there to help somebody else who needs to see it, who needs to read it, who needs to hear it, it's also an opportunity for you to do some healing. What a lot of authors that we've worked with didn't realize until they were in the middle of the writing process was how emotional writing their story became, because there are hidden traumas in it. There are moments that they forgot about that when they get reminded of it, it becomes a painful or a sad or a sorrowful moment. So many have broken down in tears at certain points, and it's like they had to pause. I've done this in my own writing. I have to pause. I have to sit back, take a step, and think about what just happened so that I can regroup, put my story back together, and make sure I don't lose what it is that this story needs to say. These aspects that you can sit there and say, oh, it just is so painful to say this. Maybe you're at the point where you need to let something go. What if you let it go and you look at that painful moment and accept that it was what it was, but don't hold on to it. You let it go. And then you're able to share it with others, because there's others that are going to have very similar moments in their own lives. They need to see how you overcame it. They need to see how you moved forward instead of sliding backwards, how you're able to live in the present so that your future is wide open instead of living in the past and risking the past becoming your future, where nothing ever changes. This is the power of storytelling. This is the power of finding your story and then finding your voice to get it out there. And this is something that I help others with, to get their story out there. It needs to get out there. It's time for it to get out there. And we do this within anthologies too. Anything that you're looking at for your story, we want to be able to help you move it out there, move it beyond whatever comfort zone that you have, that it will only make you stronger. When you move past what's holding you back, it only makes you stronger. And with that, I'm going to take a short break, because my dear sis, if you have seen her shows, the Level Up, the 50 Inspirational Connections, it's back for a third year. This year is year 3 of 50 Inspirational Connections. And of course, because my sis is playing with music now, she's creating her own songs. If you've seen her podcasts, live streams, the music, the words, is just amazing. And she wrote one for Level Up, for the 50 Inspirational Connections. And right now, I'm gonna play a new version of it. So I played this one during her show on Sunday for a break to talk more about 50 Inspirational. Well, now you're about to get a whole new version of 50 Inspirational Connections, the CJ musical version.
Yo, it's not just a scroll. It's a movement. Get it? up, this the real lane. Dr. Leyland dropping fire, not playing games. 50 deep with a mission and a voice. Ain't just talk, we the power, we the choice. We spotlight rebels, dreamers, queens, bosses, builders, legacy machines. You want truth, you want real. This the type of vibe that you feel and heal.
From the mic to the gram, LinkedIn to 50 connections, yeah, that's the crew. Wanna grow, wanna shine, wanna be seen. This the dopest network on the scene. So don't just lurk, engage, ignite. Click that follow, change your life. This ain't hype, this a tribe on a mission. Level up, style, legacy edition. So don't just lurk, engage, ignite. Click that follow, change your life. This ain't hype, this a tribe on a mission. Level up, style, legacy edition.
Let's the real man, yeah. Let's get it tight, yeah. Let's the real man, hey. Type in, level up, just the real lane. Dr. Leyland dropping fire, not playing games. 50 deep with the mission and a voice. Ain't just talk, we the power, we the choice. We spotlight rebels, dreamers, queens, bosses, builders, legacy machines. You want truth, you want real. This the type of vibe that you feel and heal.
From the mic to the gram, LinkedIn to 50 connections, yeah, that's the crew. Wanna grow, wanna shine, wanna be seen. This the dopest network on the scene. So don't just lurk, engage, ignite. Click that follow, change your life. This ain't hype, this a tribe on a mission. Level up, style, legacy edition. So don't just lurk, engage, ignite. Click that follow, change your life. This ain't hype, this a tribe on a mission. Level up, style, legacy edition.
It's the movement. Let's get it. Yeah. We all drop night shit. Taking over.
Now, what can I say? How can you not dance to CJ's music? Pick one, anyone. And this one, it's like when I got it and I first listened to it, it was like, okay, we got a whole new beat. And I'm sitting here just bouncing around because, hey, it's CJ music. What can you say? And the 50 Inspirational Connections, like I said, this is year 3, and there's changes going on. So scan the QR code, check it out, apply yourself, or if you know somebody that they're an amazing connection, nominate them. And here's the thing, it does not have to be solely on LinkedIn. That's not the focus. It's now social media. So if it's Instagram, if it's TikTok, you know somebody who you're like, this person is so inspirational and you just absolutely love them, nominate them, put them out there and give them this opportunity, or nominate yourself. There's a set of questions to go through, and when you do that, it's an opportunity to just talk about yourself. And for some of us, that can be difficult to do, but it has to be done. You know, we all have these amazing aspects. You've got a story that needs to be out there. That's why we have CJ put the 50 Inspirational Connections together. That's why we have the anthologies. That's why CJ's got her magazine. That's why we have Level Up. That's why we have Move Beyond Boxes and Shine, to help people get their stories out there, get out there and show the world what you can do. So scan this, and it's different this year. Besides the social media, CJ's got some prizes going on in here. So you want to learn more, scan the QR code, learn more, and be there. I am one of CJ's ambassadors for this. I was ambassador last year, and I was one of the connections the year before, that first year. So I know the process. I know what it's been like. And I love seeing how it has grown, how it has changed over these 3 years. And it gets bigger and it gets better every time. And once you're in, you're part of a group. But even applying, you know what that does? That gets you on radar. Even if you're not picked, you're now on somebody's radar because CJ is looking at everything. And there will be more that apply than can be picked, but you're now on the radar. You now have a chance to be seen and heard, and your story gets out there. So reach out to CJ with any questions. I'm here if you've got questions, and check it out. Get out there. And one of the things I want to go into is I've talked that, but when I talk about the main theme for today's show, and all of this is really a part of it. What is it when I say it's time to choose who you were created to be? This is where I talk about the importance of belonging. It's lovely to see you, S. Brown, and yeah, it's a lot. And CJ's music is just phenomenal, and I know she's gonna have me there soon because that's what she does. But when it comes to belonging versus fitting in, I've seen this from my own life. I spent like a half decade trying to fit in, trying to do and be what others told me I was supposed to be and do, what they expected of me to fit whatever was in their head about me. Which the problem is when you've got people that are doing that, they're not paying attention to you. They're just dropping it on you as this is who you are, be that way. And you can see it happens even in social media. It happens in politics. It happens in everything. People are trying to say this, be this, that's all you can do. Even on LinkedIn, when they keep telling you, you got to niche down, you got to niche down, you got to niche down, and when you can't go any further down, then you go down even farther because that's who you are. That's all you can talk about. That's what LinkedIn was when I first joined it almost 20 years ago. And it was impossible for me because I am not one who can niche. I am very eclectic. I do a lot. I cover a lot. I've talked about writing. I do speaking. I do consulting, focusing on organizations and creating an environment of belonging, because the data is out there. When people feel like they belong someplace, they become more engaged. And in an organization, more engaged means they're not as likely to leave, which saves money. They're not as likely to hold back from their ideas. They're more likely to give their ideas, to offer suggestions to help improve the company, improve whatever it is that the service, the products. They're more engaged, which means it's better for the company and the bottom line, because when people are happy, when they feel safe, they feel like they don't have to wear these masks anymore, then that makes a huge difference in your life. That is awesome. Yes, I'm so glad you did that. She is amazing. And yes, it's such an amazing community and everything that we've done. She is my bestie. What can I say? And again, I talk about belonging. That's another piece of it. Belonging, it doesn't matter how big the group is. When you're trying to fit in, you're wearing a mask. You're hiding aspects of yourself because you either know or you're afraid that the other people in the group won't accept you because of certain things that it's who you are. We can be put in so many different boxes. If you're neurodiverse, if you've been divorced, if you're single, if you're married, LGBTQ, if you've overcome an addiction, you're in an addiction, all these different things. If you have a non-regional accent, these are all different boxes that people will stick you in and decide based on what they choose as a subset of a subset for an example of everybody, when that's not true. That's why I don't like boxes. That's why I say move beyond boxes. Stop letting others tell you who to be, what to be. Stop trying to fit in. When I happened to watch How to Train Your Dragon recently, the new one, and it lines up with the original movie. So unless you've never seen it, there's no spoilers here. But here's a story, and I identify with it so well. This is the beauty of storytelling. Here's a story of Hiccup, who he just wants to fit in. He wants to be one of the Vikings. He wants to prove that he can kill a dragon, that he can help when the dragons attack. He can do what the others do. And his dad happens to be the chief. But every time Hiccup tries to help, let's just say it is not a good scenario. But then he gets his chance. He gets his chance to prove that he fits in, to think he belongs, when he has an opportunity to kill a dragon. And he can't. Because that's not who he is. That's not who he was created to be. That's not his authentic core, is not dragon killer. Instead, his authentic core is more like a dragon whisperer, if you will, where he befriends a dragon, he connects with the dragon, and he can do something that nobody else can. He can do something that nobody else is willing to do, because his mind is open and he sees the dragon as a fellow creature, sees the personality, whereas everybody else just sees them as these beasts to be destroyed, to be defeated, to be beaten. And they are stuck in a narrow way of thinking. This is what happens when you are narrowly focused to think. Then to fit in, people have to have that same narrow focus. They have to have that same narrow thought pattern. But when you start thinking about, who am I? You start letting your true self out. You start seeing that the world is bigger than that narrow focus, that there's more to it, that to belong is not to just stay in a narrow field of thought, a narrow direction. To belong is to see everybody for who they are and accept them for who they are. And suddenly you see that the world is actually bigger. And all these different people, they have a purpose. Their authentic self, their purpose in life helps the collective of everybody. When we all think the same, do the same, feel the same, that doesn't allow for much opportunity. Really, you're stuck on a trail that you're it's like walking through a valley that has sheer walls. You can't do anything other than be there. When you're your authentic self, when you move beyond the boxes that have been trying to hold you back, everything opens up. You see people for who they are, and suddenly when you see that these people are different from you, but you start having a conversation with them and you start talking about topics, and you see that their viewpoint and your viewpoint work together well, because it creates new opportunities. You see the ways to work together. You see the ways to grow together. And within all of that, you are opening up the world to opportunities, not closing it. You're finding more doors to open. You're finding more ways to belong, because belonging is really a full exchange of ideas. It's really that full being together, talking out ideas, and not looking down on people for sometimes the weirdest reasons. People are people. We were all created by our Creator for a purpose, and that purpose was not to fall in line and all be the same. If we were created to be the same, we would all look the same, we would act the same, we would speak the same, everything would be the same. That's not how we were meant to be. We were meant to be unique individuals, because being unique adds to this world. Being the same detracts from this world. When everybody is the same, you're losing potential. You're losing opportunity. How often have you looked at business to say, they're just doing business as usual, which means they're losing opportunities. If business as usual is a 10% turnover rate, why is that accepted? Why can't the company look at saying, we got a 10% turnover rate, and this is how much it's costing us? And there's actual dollar costs, and then there's institutional dollar costs that don't necessarily hit the bottom line of the financial statement, but they do impact that financial statement. They do impact the success of the company. Institutional loss, in many ways, is worse than the cost of replacing people. What's institutional loss? That's brain drain. That's losing people who have been in the organization for, whether it's a month, 3 months, 9 months, 2 years, 5 years. Something about the company just pushed them out. It's not that they were already looking for someplace. They just couldn't take it anymore, and they left. These are the people that is institutional knowledge loss. They're not happy there anymore. They can't deal with what management is doing, what the organization, how they're treating people, how people feel, how they're accepting certain behaviors, whatever it is, and it's a variety. They don't feel they belong. And when they don't feel they belong, they're going to go look for a new place. And once they're out the door, that knowledge goes with them. You don't have access to them anymore. They're gone. They're done. They're not coming back. They're not going to give you, they're not going to be available to say, oh, well, you just do this and this. No, they're done. They have cut the ties, moved on. That is lost money. Organizations need to understand, when you have a space where people feel comfortable, they feel safe, they feel that they can engage with others, and what they say will not be looked down upon. If somebody finds out something about them that maybe they are from another country, maybe they are from a different part of the country, they overcame an addiction that was years ago, they're doing fine, they're doing great, but the minute somebody finds out about these things, then people there's that fear of how are they going to change how they treat them? Are they going to look down on them? Are they going to ignore them? Are they going to be mean to them? All this fear pops in. When we can step up and choose to be who we were created to be, when we can choose to, it doesn't mean that we're going to tell everybody everything about ourselves. It just means we're not going to keep wearing masks and hiding ourselves. And if somebody finds out about something, you're not going to panic about it and worry about why they're treating you badly. It's just like that may or may not be true, but it's really none of your business. Stay focused, stay grounded in who you are. Be your authentic self. Work with others who are being authentic. And yes, this is making the connections as well, so I love it. And yes, Homer is definitely part of this amazing community, and he's another one of our authors. So Homer was in Against the Grain. No, Homer was in the last book, in Scattered Pages. That's where Homer was, and an amazing story of his own. So I love it. But yes, belonging is really where we're at. You can't be your authentic self until you feel like you're in a space of belonging. And that space can be with one person, with two people, with five people. Let's face it, a lot of us, we don't even feel like we belong with our families because we're still wearing a mask. We're still hiding aspects of ourselves because we're afraid of how they're going to treat us differently if they find out about something. So being your authentic self is knowing who you are at your core, who you were created to be, and then moving away from the boxes, moving beyond the boxes that others will put you in, to say, I'm done with the boxes. I don't have to be in a box because I can do all these things. This is what it means to choose who you were created to be. And when it's like we need to stop trying to fit in, and we need to stop forcing others to fit in, because fitting in is also a mental health issue, and we're still in Men's Mental Health Awareness Month. How many times, guys, have you felt like you had to join a group, you had to be a part of a group, and you knew it wasn't really the right place for you? To fit in meant you had to contort yourself to fit a box that you didn't belong in. Think about trying to fold yourself up to fit the box that is accepted by this group of people. You're going to join a group of men, you have to be a certain way to be in this certain group, and it's not who you are. You or ladies, we look at this group and it's like, I want to be with them. I want to be a part of this clique. And you go and you hide everything that you know that they're not going to like, or that you think they're not going to like, and you join, you get into it, but then you have to be careful what you say. You have to be careful what you do. You're always thinking, and fear is running this rampant. You're always thinking about what you can say, what you can do, and what you can't, so that you don't open a window in this mask that is, right now, it's solid. But the words you speak, the things you do, can open a hole in that mask so somebody sees this aspect of you that you're hiding. And once it's out, what's going to happen? How are they going to treat you differently? Are they going to treat you differently? Are they going to look down on you now? Are they going to kick you out of the group? All these things that fear has. And yes, sis, face what's been silenced. Oh, she's doing it again. Sis is doing acronyms, it seems like. Examine the origin. Activate the opposite. We're missing your R, sis, because you did activate the opposite twice. So what is R? Because sis she's adorable when it comes to acronyms. It's like, I thought I was done with acronyms when I left the army. It's acronym for everything. Well, no, she turns everyday words into an acronym. So now I need your R, sis, because you got it. Face what's been silenced, examine the origin, activate the opposite. What could that R be? To overcome fear. And that's really what it is, overcoming fear. And that's what we all need to do, is overcome it. So that's what I want to see, and that's why I speak on stage. That's another one of the places that, for me, in terms of who am I and what do I do, speaking on stage, motivational, inspirational speaker, focused on especially women, professional and entrepreneurs, women who are in this position of they're still hiding aspects of who they are. They're still holding back from their potential for a multitude of reasons. And this is where I talk move beyond boxes and shine. It's like impactful communication and creating that authentic presence. What does it mean to stand up for yourself? And the same for vets, because I was an Army officer, so I have a vet connection. Been there, done a lot of it. And it's just that. It is, how do you, as a vet, stop holding yourself back in boxes that either others told you to be in or you think you should be in, when you have so much to offer. And for veterans and even and women, there are things that we do in our daily lives, things that we've done in previous jobs, previously in our lives, that the terminology may not be the same as something you're looking at doing now, but what you did is the same. It matches. So it's seeing how you belong by seeing how what you have done, how you got where you are right now. You've done so much. You're ready for not the next step. You're ready for like 3 or 4 steps down. You should be further than you are. So let's stop holding ourselves back. And then I'll speak on breaking down the walls for an atmosphere of belonging. What does it mean in the workplace, in an organizational environment? Growth and engagement for team cohesion and cultural transformation. And that's it. What is the culture of an organization? What is the culture of different groups? And think about it. Organizations are more than just a company. I mean, yeah, Nike's an organization, Apple's an organization, but these organizations, they can be small, medium, large businesses. It can be like SHRM, the Society of Human Resources Management. These groups that are focused on specific industries that have their own gatherings. It can be all these people that are in the construction industry dealing with LEED. Organizations are like USGBC. That's an organization. All the people that are going to their conferences. And then another one that a lot of people don't really think about, but it really is important, especially for leadership and renewal, is gratitude, forgiveness, and grace. Here's a topic of how can you be grateful? Think about what got you to where you're at. Are you grateful for it? And think about the things that maybe you're still stuck on, that you can't quite forgive from the past. Yet when you can forgive, when you can let go, that removes a weight that's been tying you to the past. The more you are stuck in the past, the more you refuse to let go of something, someone, opportunities that were missed, opportunities you took that you shouldn't have. When you can let those go and forgive others, forgive yourself, you've just dropped a weight. It's like cutting that anchor, letting it sink to the bottom of the ocean, and it's no longer pulling you under. You are now in the present. You don't forget about it. You remember it, but you don't let it control you anymore. You live in the present, so the future is wide open. It's what you want. You want the future to remain wide open. Be open. And the fourth topic that I love to speak on, and I've got things for this that I'm looking at. It's primarily focused on women. It's the armor of God for women, and it's a faith-informed message that has real-world insight. So it's taking the armor of God. I have written it. I've written about the armor of God as a fantasy book. I've done a fantasy story. It's 2 volumes right now. The Armor of God. Search for the Armor of God, battle for the Armor of God. It is, the main character is being put in boxes by everybody, and it's his story of moving beyond boxes so that he can shine as his authentic self, finding, accepting, and living as his authentic self going forward. When I talk about the armor of God for women, it's that same thing. It's, here's what the pieces are. Now here's how it pertains to the real world. And helping women to see, we don't have to listen to what others are telling us, what others are forcing us to do. We were created for so much more. Those are the messages that I want to see out there. We were all created for so much more than cookie cutter, being cookie cutter objects in boxes based on what people in society are telling us we should be. Because how often have you tried to do and be what others told you to be, only to really find your mental health deteriorating, You're not feeling good about who you are. You're not feeling about what you're doing because it feels wrong. You know who you are. You know what you should be doing. But you let fear hold you back. And I can talk on fear. I could do a keynote seminar on what is that fear in the box? How is it holding us back? And how do you move beyond it? Because fear can be defeated. It keeps trying to keep a hold on us. I know this very well. I've dealt with it for a lifetime. Be your authentic self and watch how moving beyond boxes and shining allows you to drop fear back into the role it's supposed to be, which is just keeping you safe, but not holding you back from everything. Because if we don't take risks, if we don't step out and show what we can do, we'll never succeed. And then we fail to do what we were created to do. But we need to step out, move beyond boxes and shine. And when you do that, you will level up. And when you level up, you're going to bring others with you. That's what I've seen with my dear sis as well. When she talks about Level Up Academy, leveling up the community, it may be individual by individual, but when one person is leveled up, they bring so many more with them. That's what matters. And that helps everybody. So that is today's show, because I have hit the hour plus mark, which I wasn't expecting. Yeah, check out 50 Inspirational. Check out CJ. Check out the Hounds of Business. Check out CMC Consulting, C&M Consulting, and check out what I'm doing. And there is more stuff coming. Right now, I am ready to work with basically 2 to 3 authors a month, with a focus on especially professional women entrepreneurs to help them get their story out, and then be able to take that story and speak it, get it out there. And also in terms of belonging, it's working with organizations with the aspect of belonging to create an atmosphere of belonging, as well as there's going to be some workshops, online workshops coming very soon too, that are also designed to help others to reclaim their story and voice, to move beyond boxes. What does it mean? How do they do it? And much of it is get ready to dig into things that you've overcome, because when you see what you've overcome, you realize you are so much further than you ever thought you were. So with that, I'm going to close this, and I will see you next week on the 1st of July as we start a new month. Have an amazing rest of your week, an amazing Wednesday, and get out there, connect with others, and watch how connections allow you to grow in so many amazing ways. Bye.